learned his lessons after games 2 and 3 that you can't prematurely celebrate.
Hold on, what about y'all? Every time y'all shoot a shot, you go back and look at the footage. They shoot a shot, Jard, they're gritty, he gritty. Everybody celebrating, everybody having a good old time. At some point in time, can y'all just play the game? Every shot it doesn't need to be celebrated. And that's all y'all do is celebrate. Celebrate at the end of the game. Celebrate at the end of the series. But you know what? You're not going to have anything to celebrate. You're going home.
The song.
We one game away. Blow up. We playing for something, man. We playing for something. This got to mean something to you. It got to mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
Yo, you remember when Joakim Noah was talking about Cleveland? Like, what made Cleveland so special? That's kind of how I'm feeling about Taco Bell. Like, I hear a lot of people, raving and going crazy about Taco Bell and shit. And, I watch different type of shows on YouTube. And, I swear one of the common things is like people's love for Taco Bell. Now, mind you, growing up for me, I graduated in 2012. So I graduated from high school in 2012. So growing up for me, Taco Bell was, I didn't really fuck with Taco Bell too much growing up. I wasn't a Taco Bell guy. But the crave that I see like from Taco Bell, from people with Taco Bell today, I swear I did not see this type of crave back in the day. Mind you, I think Taco Bell was better back in the day than it is now. But that's a debatable thing. I don't eat Taco Bell like that for the simple reason I just don't find Taco Bell to be that appetizing. Like, dead ass. Like, I think the smell of a burrito stinks. Like a burrito, like the actual burrito shell stinks. I don't know what the smell is on them shits. Stinks every fucking time. Never been a Taco Bell guy though. I love the nacho fries, but even those shits ain't made that well no more. Like, every time I go get nacho fries from Taco Bell, when I actually sacrifice to go make a drive to Taco Bell, because I'm never craving Taco Bell, but I might see it on the way, or like I'm like, okay, I can do some nacho fries, right? Shits be cold, the cheese be hard, stale, you know what I'm saying? It's never hot. So I'm like, the one thing that's a redeemable quality for me for Taco Bell is not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even hitting for me. So I don't understand the Taco Bell crave. And I done tried multiple things on the menu. Taco Bell just not hitting for me. And listen, if you're a Taco Bell, fan, shout out to you. But Taco Bell just not hitting for me. Personally. Like, I don't see the crave. I don't see what's so special about fucking Taco Bell. That's just me personally. But yo, how dope was your fucking day? Yo, what's up, man? I just got done watching this Warriors-Grizzlies game. And this is not how I thought I was going to start the show off tonight. But let's go ahead and start the show off like this tonight. Let's talk about this Warriors and Grizzlies game. The Warriors for 2 games in a row done shot the ball absolutely horrendous against the Grizzlies. At one point in time in this game, they had shot the ball like 5 for 31 from downtown and still was leading. The Grizzlies end up winning this game because Ja Morant went absolutely insane. 47 points. I don't know. And the Grizzlies needed every single one of Ja's points tonight. I don't know if Ja can go for 47 3 more games in this series and win them. Because they only won by 5 points tonight, which is why they needed all 47 of his points. With the Warriors shooting the ball as bad as they shot the ball tonight, with the Warriors doing Warrior things, meaning turning the ball over like the Warriors love to do, because the Warriors love turning the ball over. With them doing that, with Klay having probably the worst game I've ever seen Klay Thompson have. And you gotta understand, I'm not approaching, when I talk about the Warriors, I don't approach the Warriors from even though this is a new iteration of the Warriors, I don't approach this like talking about Curry like this is Curry from 2-3 years ago when he was at his absolute apex. I'm not approaching this as Klay Thompson, who never had those 2 injuries, and this is Klay in his apex. I'm not approaching this as Draymond, from back in those championship runs. No. I know these dudes is older players. They can't do exactly what they... And listen, they not old as in like about to retire or nothing like that. They still at the back end of their primes and whatnot. But I'm not approaching this as, each of these dudes is in their apex. I understand where they are and where John Morant and the Grizzlies are as a young, energetic team. You know what I'm saying? I understand right now John Morant can do what he doing right now to this type of team, because they don't have a defender that can legit. Because you're not going to commit Draymond to John Morant for an entire game. Not only are you not going to do that, I don't think you would want Draymond to have to do that for a whole game to guard John Morant. Because this a dude who can kill just about anybody off the ball, off the dribble. Nobody can stay in front of him. It's basically like Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose in their prime. How athletic they were. That's basically the same thing. Like, when some of the most unguardable people or type players I done ever, aside from Kevin Durant, because that's an alien, and aside from Steph Curry, because that's an alien, and aside from LeBron James and Kobe and Michael, most other people, like players, the type of player that's hard to guard, is those point guards who is stupid athletic, who some people be like, oh, that's really a guard, a 2-guard masquerading as a... Those some of the hard, like Derrick Rose in his prime was a tough motherfucker to try to stay in front of. And that's why he was so hard to guard, because nobody could stay in front of this motherfucker. Nobody could stay in front of Russell Westbrook in his prime. Like, it's just something about these guards who can dribble, who got a great handle, who are stupid athletic, like they can explode. Like, that's exactly who Ja remind me of. And I can't really say if he better than those dudes yet, because Derrick Rose in his prime won an MVP. So, that's the bar if we talking about, like, because to me, stats and all that type of shit, in his apex, Derrick Rose won an MVP. So, also, it's hard for me, because Derrick Rose got those Bulls teams to the playoffs. And I think he would have continued to do that if not for those injuries building up. So, it's hard to... And Russell Westbrook in his prime was a key piece to the Thunder being a championship contending team every year. So, I know people want to think of Derrick Rose now and Russell Westbrook now, and compare John Morant now to those dudes now, but that's not how this shit go. I compare Ja. If I'ma say how great he is compared to them dudes, well, I'm taking them dudes at they apex. I'm not giving him Derrick Rose now with the locks. No. That's not how we rocking. He not getting compared to L.A. Russ. That's not happening. But that's who he remind me of. Those two dudes. Now, the way he can contort his body and finish in the paint and shit like... Now, I still... one of my things that I said about him still remain. The way that he constantly fall and hit the ground, and because of the way he play, he can come down hard sometimes. That's the type of shit that fucked up. Now, Russ got fucked up because of Patrick Beverley's BS. But that's the type of shit that these type of athletic point guards, eventually that type of shit can wear down. Now, Josh shouldn't be worried about that, obviously, right now because he's young. And I usually don't talk about injuries, you know what I'm saying? But that's just something that I can't get out of my head because of Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook, 2 absolute phenoms in their prime. When they started piling up the injuries and whatnot, and obviously every player get affected by injuries and whatnot, but it's just different for some players. Like, you look at Steph Curry taking some of these injuries he done had in his career and how he still was able to do what he was able to do. Kevin Durant with some of his injuries and bouncing back the way he done bounced back. You know what I'm saying? It don't really look like they game lost anything because of how they play. They was able to bounce back and be just as good. Paul George was an outlier because his injury, and he's still an athletic dude, but Paul George did kind of change up his game after the injury because he started shooting more threes, I believe. Paul George have a great mid-range and three-point shot. I think Paul George take a lot of dumbass shots ever since he got to OKC and ever since then, because he started playing with coaches who don't, when he was with Frank and he was young and he was coachable, and I'm not saying Paul George became uncoachable, but I was listening to Eddie, I can't remember his last name. Eddie Hearns. I was listening to Eddie Hearns on the MMA Hour with Ariel Hawani, and how he was talking about basically as a fighter get bigger, you know, the promoter get even less of a pay cut because of, you know, of a split because of how big the fighter is and how they drive this shit. That's kind of how excuse me. That's kind of how I think about this situation, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, once Paul George became, in a sense, like not money-wise, but just like when Paul George started to become a bona fide star and a superstar to some people, but I don't classify him as a superstar. I classify him as a star. Once he became that, it's just you can't coach him a certain type of way no more. It's certain, you got to have a certain type of coach for him. And I'm not saying he became uncoachable. I'm just saying it's certain type of coaches what you need at a certain point in time for certain players. Even though he had never won a championship, I understand people saying, well, he ain't never won a championship, so he should be coachable by any coach. That's not, excuse me, that's not how this thing goes. That's just not how this thing goes. But either way, getting back to this Grizzlies thing, I saw I was on Twitter tonight, right, talking to my homie about, cause my homie hates Steph Curry. He a big Steph Curry hater. Now when he hear this, I don't want him to think I'm taking a shot at him or nothing like that, but cause he do tend to get defensive when I tell him that I think he is Steph Curry hater. But if he really think about it, how often do I tell you that you are a Steph Curry hater? Probably once a year, if even that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really got to, because I really don't think, well, for one, he is a Steph Curry hater. He'll tell you that straight up. And he allow Steph Curry fanatics to dissuade his love for Steph Curry. But his favorite player is CP3, which is weird that he hates Steph, because Steph is from Carolina and he rep Carolina, and that's one of the reasons he loves CP3. So it's weird that he hates Steph. I would think Steph would be one of his favorite players. However, because he a Carolina guy, like all his teams, sports teams is Carolina, like you would think he would love Steph Curry. But I be wanting to tell him, like, bro, if you took Steph Curry's career and gave it to Chris Paul, you would absolutely, like, just change Chris Paul resume, give it to Curry, and give Curry Chris Paul's resume. You would absolutely love that. So the fact that that resume is on Curry and you don't love, that's insane. Not to mention, if Curry had Chris Paul's resume, and you got to understand, I think Chris Paul is the second greatest point guard I've ever seen in my lifetime. And when I rank point guards, I rank Magic, Steph. Well, actually, I rank Steph, Magic. No, I'm just playing. I do rank Steph over Magic, because Steph is my second favorite player all the time. But I understand this Magic, Steph, CP3. That, to me, that's the thing. I'm not putting another point guard over Steph or CP3 or Magic, bro. Like, I don't care about all those. Jason Kidd was great. You know, it's a lot of great point guards out there. Just what my two eyes have seen, Chris Paul and Steph Curry were the definition of point guards, the definition of greatness at that position, the definition of just great players, period. Like, and it's just weird to me that he feel the way he feel about Steph. But he was talking about basically how Steph told Ja lock that shit up at the end of the game. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably am starting to get a little irritated. Not even irritated, I would say just like, why do these dudes talk so much shit? And I understand, so that's what we was talking about. Because I was basically like, I would understand what you're saying if it was basically Curry initiating the trash talk. Curry was responding to Ja. Like, the Grizzlies talk shit to everybody they play. Like, it's not anybody else initiating trash talk. Now, of course, he was, using different type of things and changing the subject to defend Ja. But I'm not going at Ja. I don't even care that Ja talk trash. I did say that it's weird to me that they do, because it's kind of tipping those scales between, boosting yourself up and being kind of disrespectful. I mean, because the motherfucker gritty in mid plays and shit, after buckets and shit. Like, they legit talk shit after every single bucket or anything good that happened. They talk shit after Ja, and Ja had a fucking game, 47. Because I love Ja. I'm a big Ja fan. So I don't have a problem with the shit talk, to be honest with you. My only thing is, I know how this is going to turn out if they lose this series, which I think they're going to lose this series in 5. I thought this was going to be a 7-game series because I thought that Memphis was a great team. Looking at this first 2 games, I don't see Memphis the same right now. Now maybe they'll play the same if Memphis play the way they done played these first 2 games in Golden State. For one, they're gonna lose. But if they play like this, because Golden State will not play this bad in Golden State. But if they play like tough, it's hard to say. If they play good, if they go into Golden State and pick up a win, obviously I'll feel different. But if they go into Golden State playing the way they done played in these first 2 games, this is a 5-game series. Because Golden State done probably played 2 of their worst games of this playoffs and still won one of them and should have won tonight or could have won tonight. Now, before I start getting too deeper into this game, I got to say something, man. And I done said this multiple times as to why I don't watch 82 fucking games in the NBA season. Because of these fucking refs, bro. The refs in this fucking series have been insane. In fucking, and I don't even remember if Scott Foster was the ref for both of these fucking games, but I believe he have been the ref. He got to be stopped. He got to be stopped. Like, bro, the calls that Memphis is getting, like, and then people will say, well, it look like the calls is about to, bro, Memphis is getting some of the craziest calls down the stretch in this series right now. The first game of this series, that was not a jump ball. That should not have been a jump ball. But that ball was not out on Steph Curry. That ball clearly went out on Brandon Clark. Somehow they call a jump ball. Like, what are you doing? If you want to argue Draymond should have got ejected for that play, sure, fine. I guarantee you it's a lot of players who don't get ejected from that play. And really, players should be mad that he got ejected for that play because now the noise done been so loud for people saying that, enough people saying that he shouldn't have been ejected. Now the refs have to double down and eject everybody for plays like anything close to this type of play. You got to start ejecting dudes for it. And a dude got ejected. What's my man's name? Dylan Brooks got ejected tonight for his wind-up hit. Like, that's what you do when you start ejecting, like, key players, important players to teams in series like this. Like, straight up. Now, on top of Scott Foster needing to be stopped, the NBA is... I'm telling you, it's 2 things that I know the NBA gonna do. Protect these jackass refs and protect these jackass fans. Fans can say and do whatever the fuck they want to at these games, but if the player respond, then they are the ones who are going to be fined. Forget the fact that none of these fucking dudes in the front office would be fine with being belittled and disrespected on a daily basis. And all they do is hear it on Twitter. They are not the ones sitting at these arenas. Like, ask Roger Goodell how he would feel if he had to walk into every room in his life and hear fans do to him what they do to him at these drafts. You don't think eventually he'd snap or have a moment where he respond in some type of way? But for some reason, the players are expected to be held to a higher standard. They should turn the other cheek and just be the bigger person. And you know what the NBA do? They fine them when they get tired of it, which to me reinforces what the fans are doing. Because as soon as these fans get the retaliation or the reaction they want out of one of these players that's finally fed up, they know the player's going to get fined or something. You know what they also know? Ain't shit going to happen to them. Because they know how disrespectful they can be for one, they know how disrespectful they can be. They know what lines they can cross. They cross these lines all the time. It's just straight up they starting off being disrespectful. They don't gradually get disrespectful no more. They start off with the disrespect. And they know it's a level of disrespect you can get to without getting in trouble. Just straight up. But the level of disrespect that they don't have to go to is disrespectful enough to players. If they hear it enough, they are going to respond. And as soon as they do, they get fined like Kyrie. And the fans basically are reinforced. And they are, when they see that player get fined and nothing happened to them, that's basically reinforcing bad behavior. Okay? Like if a child constantly spit on people, but you never punish him. All you ever do is tell that child you should not do that. But you tell that other child, right in front of that other child that did the spitting, you tell the victim of the kid who got spit on, you tell him, now you should never be saying, or you should never be in a situation where he should have to spit on you, or blah, blah, blah. Basically giving him just as much of punishment, the same type punishment you gave to That's why I hate it when I see kids get in trouble and it's one kid that did the thing, but both kids get the same punishment. Because that's reinforcing the bad behavior by the bad kid. Because I know kids who will do ignorant shit knowing that they will get in trouble, but knowing that both of the kids will get in trouble. So if he know he can ruin the other kid's day, then his day being ruined don't matter. Because his day not going to be ruined if you don't punish If the only way you could ruin that kid's day is if he was the only one that gets punished, which takes logical adults who don't just fiend over fucking kids, who don't just say, oh, that's a kid, so they couldn't possibly be wrong or tell a lie. I hate closed-minded individuals like that. I'm just going to be honest with you, because I done seen some evil kids in my lifetime. And I ain't talking about movies. I done seen some real-life evil-ass kids, bro. I'm just telling you. So to me, that's kind of what this is. Reinforcing bad behavior on a kid. Well, hell, you just gave us the same type of punishment, so I'm going to go out there and continuously do this shit. And then there's times where I'm not getting punished at all for this shit because I'm a kid gonna make mistakes, so I'm going to keep going out there spitting on people. And because you don't reinforce this bad behavior, once somebody else do, then it's going to be a problem. But that's a subject for another day. Listen, what I'm saying is... because we done got so far off topic. What I wanted to say basically was, when me and my homie was talking about this track, listen, I don't have a problem with the Grizzlies talking shit to everybody. That's what the Grizzlies do. They talk shit to everybody. The only player who I can remember that's why LeBron was so mad, because he think these dudes is arrogant and cocky and ain't never won nothing. But that's how they succeed. That's how they get up at night. That's how they go to sleep at night and get up in the morning. This is what they have to do to get to where, and I'm not mad at it. I do understand. Like, the grittying during the game was disrespectful in my opinion. Like, if I'm a player on another team, because I'm different. I'm not Steph Curry, bro. I'm not going to tell you I locked you up on the last play where I blocked your shot. You're going to hear from me. Like, in a way, I kind of respect Cat, because while not a lot of players, if any, initiate the shit talk with the Grizzlies, everybody else is more of a responding type of people. Like, even LeBron didn't initiate the shit talk with the Grizzlies. You know what I'm saying? He just responded based off of how he felt they was acting. Cat, while you could say he was responding too, I mean, Cat was starting to really get bold with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he took those shots that he had to take, the tweets that Ja was sending at him after they lost and whatnot. But if anything, you could say that Cat, I mean, I'm not going to say his soldiers didn't show up with him because he was a part of the buffoonery that took place in those games. But, I mean, when I really think about it, I kind of respect Cat for that because, like I said, the Grizzlies, this is one of the things that they do. They talk shit. They legitimately talk shit to you. They want you to know that they better than you, that you can't guard them, that they locking you up. That's what they do. And I get that. I dig that. With that being said, though, they probably should have lost this game tonight too, but because of this goofy ass NBA refereeing, which, like I said, this officiating in the NBA, bro, like, the fact that NBA refs, just any refs, do not get fined, suspended for having bad games. It's like the Angel Hernandez umpire in baseball, who all baseball fans, hate. Like, something need to be done with Scott Foster. Something need to be done. The call on Draymond Green at the end of this game, where I think it's a 1-point game, or either a tie game, and Draymond Green ends up because Ja Morant's still in the midst of going crazy right now. It's not making a huge difference. It's still a close game. Draymond Green gets a rebound, and somehow they call a foul on him that sends Ja to the line. And I don't, for the life of me, understand that foul. Like, I don't understand that call by Scott Foster. I don't know what he was seeing. I don't know what the other refs was seeing. Like they showed the replay, and even the announcers were like, that's a tough call. Like, the officiating in this series so far has clearly been towards the Rams, has been towards the Grizzlies. And I'm not a big I speak on refs when refs need to be spoken on. But bruh, I'm not blaming the refs for this game, by the way. I'm just saying the refs are atrocious at their jobs, and it was calls made at the end of these, because that's my problem. The refs in this series are making terrible calls on the Warriors at the end of these games. And listen, I understand I'm a Warrior fan, and I said that, so this is gonna go in one ear and out the other for most people. Nothing I say is gonna be heard. It's gonna sound like biasness, regardless of what I say. But listen, go back and look at these last two games. Some of these calls at the end of these games on the Warriors have been god awful, and calls that just should not have been made. And I'm not even talking about the Draymond Green call, because like I said, I can understand that call being a flagrant 2. I don't think that it was a flagrant 2, but I get what you see from what I saw from that. And now slow motion make everything look a lot worse, but I get that. But the calls at the end of these first 2 games have been so ass backwards and in favor of the Grizzlies that it's insane, and it's unmistakable to see. And I don't want to take away, but I don't think that that call officiating cost the Warriors this game. What cost the Warriors this game is the bad shooting by Steph, and the turnovers by the Warriors, the bad shooting by Klay, just the all around bad game by Klay Thompson altogether. Klay Thompson can't guard nobody right now. Everybody is killing him when they go at him. He can't shoot the ball consistent right now. He'll have a game where he decent. He haven't been good in this series or the last couple games at all. I think his last decent game was when they lost to the Nuggets. That him and Curry both went nuts in that game. He haven't and one of the things that I think when I watch this Warriors team, because like I said, I don't think this Warriors team is better than Phoenix. And I want the Warriors. Obviously, I'm a root for the team because I love the Warriors. I love Steph. But this team ain't better than the Phoenix. Neither is the Grizzlies. But the Grizzlies ain't better than the Warriors. Because I don't think the Grizzlies are winning another game in this series. Now, I don't agree with the people who thought this was going to be a sweep, because like I said, I originally thought this was a 7-game series. And up until this game, I still thought it was a 7-game series. After seeing this game, I don't think this is a 7-game series. I do not think the Warriors will play this bad. Listen, I told you, Jaren Jackson will not shoot the ball the way he shot the ball in game 1. He did not shoot he hit 3 shots, didn't hit another shot in this game, and ended up fouling out. That is a Jaren Jackson game. That is what is more likely to happen. I'm just going with the law of averages and everything balancing out. Steph Curry is not likely to continue to struggle in this series. Ja Morant is not likely to continue to drop 47 plus or 40 plus points in this series. It will be a game or 2 games in this series in which Ja Morant struggled to shoot the ball. Ja Morant will not shoot the 3-point. Now, he haven't really shot the 3-point ball good in this series, but he done hit 5 threes in this series, or 8 threes. You can't count on him hitting the 3-point ball good when the rest of this series. So I'm just now also you can't count on Desmond Bane struggling like he continued to struggle in this series. But just when everything end up, because I'm a big believer in just everything will play out the way it should based off of how good or bad these teams are. Every team will eventually. That's why I like 7-game series in the NBA, because eventually, most times when teams is healthy and whatnot, things play out most of the time the way they should. That's why when I saw the game from the Dallas Mavericks and Phoenix last night, I'm like, this is not a 7-game series. If anything, this is a 5-game series at the most. I can see this series being a sweep. I understand how close the score looked at the end of that game. It was a 20-point game at one point in time in that fourth quarter until the Suns basically said, yeah, this is over. And they took their foot off of the gas. The Dallas Mavericks could have Because what was basically about to happen was what happened to Dallas last night. Luke would go for 40 plus and lose. That's what was about to happen to Ja tonight. To me, the Warriors and the Phoenix Suns are so visibly better than the two teams they playing. But it's kind of wild to me that the Warriors look so much better right now. Even as bad as they done played, they look better than this team right now. And the peanut gallery that continue to have a problem with Steve Kerr. I just don't see how you can continue to have a problem with this man. Do you know how often it is that teams get blown out on their own home when they on another team's home court? Milwaukee got blown out tonight by the Celtics. Like, do you know how often it is? Even though the Celtics lost that first game, they still came out and dominated in game 2 on their home court. Memphis did not dominate either game 1 or 2 on their home court. Not at one point in time in this series so far on their home court have I thought to myself, Memphis is the better team in this series. Somehow, Golden State is not being destroyed by the rebounding. The rebounding different. Memphis is the best rebounding team in basketball. You couldn't tell based off of this series right now. Because it's not making a difference. Golden State not even being out-rebounded by that much, if at all. And so they finding a way to shut down Desmond Bain. Now, mind you, it's hard to base how great Memphis was based off of, for most people, based off of them going against Minnesota. Not for me, because I understand what Minnesota is, but I also understand how to judge, what I'm seeing. And like I said, Minnesota should have won that series. They had the games won and gave them away each and every game because they just started doing dumb shit at the end of these games. I'm starting to see now Memphis do a lot of dumb shit at the end of these games. And that's what almost cost them this game tonight. I think the thing that's really got them close to in these first 2 games is the fact that Golden State has shot the ball so poor. Curry has not been Curry yet. Clay has been atrocious. Jordan Poole, even though he dropped 30 the first game, has not really had a Jordan Poole type of game. The defense for Golden State, it hasn't even really been bad. It's just been bad down the stretch in these last 2 games. And I think some of this officiating has been heavily in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. So we'll see how this shit play out going to Golden State. But yeah, it's been a great series. But yo, I want to talk about something that I was listening to today. I was listening to Alexander. So I watched that Alexander Volkanovski fight against the Korean Zombie a couple weeks ago, and I talked about it, but I didn't really talk about it that much. In that fight, Alexander Volkanovski was beating the absolute shit out of the Korean Zombie, right? And the way it ended was Herb basically told Korea, listen, if he keep landing flush on you like this in this next round, I gotta end it. And the Korean Zombie was basically a punching bag and that shit, and so they ended it. And the question, because Ariel had asked him, like, why do you think more, like, people in MMA don't throw in the towel for they fighter, like more teams and corners? Because we see it in boxing, the dudes throw in the towels. Why do you think when a dude is in there absolute getting his brains beat in, why don't we just throw in the towel? And that is a great question, because as somebody who done actually done, trained in Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I want to get back into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, bro. I really do. First I did Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't realize how different they was, because when I was growing up, it wasn't a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class around at first. It was a lot of Taekwondo, karate, Jiu-Jitsu. It was a Muay Thai class that opened up a couple weeks ago, or a Muay Thai building that opened up. It was, what else was it? It was boxing. It really wasn't a shit ton of boxing though. It was wrestling, and that was really it. It wasn't like it was no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, no Muay Thai. Mind you, I talk a lot of shit about Muay Thai, my homies who do Muay Thai, but just because I'm not talking real shit to Muay Thai fight experts and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't been doing it in like a year or 2 years, so I'm pretty sure I would get my ass handed to me right now by somebody who is active. Easily. Now, I ain't gonna say easily, bro. True story. Why do people start stuff like that with true story? That's funny. That's the only reason I did it. But listen, at one point in time, I wanted to keep training to become a MMA fighter, whether it be for the UFC or for, you know what I'm saying. I wanted to be a WWE wrestler at first. That's what I wanted to be growing up. That's why I originally had got into fighting and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was no avenue as to how one could become a WWE superstar. So that's why I ended up being like, fuck it. I want to be a fighter, my guy. I want to, you know what I'm saying? So I got into, we did karate, I think, for like, because I hated karate. And that was a short-lived experience. Taekwondo was lit. Because, okay, so we had Taekwondo / kickboxing. Bruh. Now, I will say this. At the Taekwondo class that I went to, it was funny. Because maybe it's just because I just didn't pay attention. But I don't even say that because I was one of the best there. Even though I did not get my black belt. Because I ended up stopping Taekwondo before I got to the black belt. But you got to understand, I was so far and away better than most of the people in my age group. I just felt like I had outgrew that gym. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, time to transition into something else. Mind you, it was a dude in that gym who was a wrestler, who was a fucking monster. He was way older than me, though. But one day I had fought him in class, and I didn't even know the story was going to go to this because I didn't intend on telling this story. But one time I was beating everybody in the class, right? And I was acting real cocky that day. And that motherfucker fought me on his knees, bruh. And I will never forget this because that motherfucker going to run me my ones back one day. We can do it in a cage. We can do it wherever you want to do it, my guy. Because I know you're old now and them knees starting to creep up on you, my boy. So I just want you to know, you could call out he want to go against somebody. Yeah, he wasn't that much older than me. I was in like, what, 9th grade? He was probably already graduated from high school. Regardless, don't care. I don't care how old you was, bruh. You made that decision that day, and that's something you're going to have to eventually have to atone for, my guy. That man got on his knee because he wanted to prove that I wasn't the best in there. Because I was basically acting like, bro, I'm better than you. I done beat all these goofs in this class. Like, there's nobody in here who can beat me, bro. Because I was one of the motherfuckers who only came to fight. I was not there to do no damn patterns. You dig what I'm saying? Give me 1 second. One second. Now I don't necessarily remember what I was just talking about, but I had to pause the show because, you know, the activity that go on. I'm not being a snitch, so what I'm about to say is about to be very limited. I hope you can really read in between the lines, and you know you can create the story in your head. But the motherfucker's next door to me, bro. Like really, for one, not even supposed to be there. It's a vacated house, all right. And they live next to me. Well, they don't live next to me, but they live next to me, if you know what I'm saying. And they ain't got a key to the house, but they got a key to the house, if you know what I'm saying. And these goofballs' insistence on not understanding how to use that key that they have to this fucking house is very irritating. And it's even more irritating when you realize somebody realized that these motherfuckers ain't supposed to be in this house. So you know what these motherfuckers do? They leave during the day so they don't realize that, oh man, somebody know that we in this house. So earlier today, when I got off work and got home, I realized, well, see, Saturday it was a bunch of cops over at the house, right? Trying to figure out who the fuck been breaking into this house, living in this house. There's nobody supposed to be living in this house. And these two goofs, I guess, had already pulled off. And maybe they had pulled through and saw the cops there and continued to pull off. Who knows? But earlier today, there was a locking company here and a door company to fix the doors and the locks on the house. And it was a window company here to fix the windows and reinforce the windows. They was here all fucking day. How do you know that? Well, because I ended up talking to one of the dudes who was a young dude who came over to talk to me for some reason when I was chilling when I got back. He just wanted to come over and talk to me, I guess. I guess the short eye contact we made, basically, I guess that short eye contact I made with him was basically, to him, it was like, that man wanted to talk to me and be my friend for a couple minutes. So, I guess so. But these two goofs don't know that all that done transpired today, so they've been out here messing with this fucking front door for, I don't know, about 10 minutes. Trying to figure out how to get into this house. And what they don't understand is they loud as shit. So pray for them. Pray for them. Really? I probably should call the cops. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just pray they don't try to break into this house. Alright? That's what I'm going to do. But that threw me off. Because me popping my head, I just had to see what was transpiring, bro. Alright? I don't want to be like one of them white people in the movies who go towards trouble, go towards the noise. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be one of them type of people. Excuse me. But for the night, bro, fuck it. But anyways, back to my stories. So I basically was walking around the gym like a real cocky. And this motherfucker got on his knees. For one, he was bigger than me by like 30, 40 pounds. And he beat the shit out of me. But I'll never forget that shit. You gonna run me my ones one day, motherfucker. You gonna run me my ones one day. But being this out, that wasn't even the story I wanted to tell. But basically, I wanted to get to why don't more people? And I think that it's this thing where some people, they won't admit it. They grew up watching WWE, so WWE got them to this thing where, oh, you should never tap, blah blah blah. Bro, you get put, and I done said this before. Get put in one of these submissions in real life. Get to fucking with somebody who know how to lock these submissions up. Who know how to put you in these submission holes. I'm telling you. You're tapping. I'm telling you right now. You're not fucking... Your ego is going to go out the window. I'm telling you. You do got some of them psychopaths who ego just will not let them do it. So they'll either let something break. That's just stupid. I mean... It's stupid. And what's also stupid is a coach seeing that his fighter can no longer, for one, not only is he in there getting his ass waxed, but he getting his ass waxed to the point where he can no longer even defend himself properly. Like he is still taking big hits when his hands is up because he no longer can defend himself. He getting hit with 2 shots. His opponent's foot and his hand hitting him now. And the Korean Zombie was in there getting murked. And I thought his corner should have been through it in towel, but they kept sending him out there. And at what point in time do you just look out for him and be like, man, I don't care about the fuss back I'm finna get because he gonna get mad. Because think about it, who was the fighter? Deontay Wilder's fighters threw in the towel. And he ended up firing him, I think. Listen, bruh. It's just listen. I understand people can justify. No, you just gotta let him fight. Bruh, the brain damage and shit that happened from... Listen. If I see some shit transpiring, if I have a fighter, I'm a coach, and I see my fighter getting his head beat in like what Korean Zombie, what was happening to him, I'm throwing in the towel for my guy. There's no way. You can fire me, and I hate losing that check and whatnot, but I would rather have you be able to be conscious for the next couple of years, be able to talk right, not have your brain be a big mush. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you drinking through a straw and shit, okay? So I'm looking out for your health in the future rather than your ego for tonight, all right? And if I got to lose my job for that, that's fine. But I promise you, you're going to be living a way better life than if I let you go in. And so Herb Dean really should be applauded, because Herb Dean did what the fucking the Zombies team didn't do, which is look out for the man. Zombie wasn't winning that fight. It was no way he was going to win that fight. He had lost every fucking round, and he was getting his fucking head beat in. Have you seen some of the injuries from this MMA shit? Like Mike and Venom Page crushing dude's skull. Like, do you see some of that Frank Mir and some of the injuries he done gave out? Like, do you see some of the injuries that happen in the UFC? Letting people get you talk about the concussions that happen in the NFL and the car crashes they run into. Okay, imagine a man's head being used as a fucking punching bag. Or one of those, I can't even remember what you call them at the moment. I'm not a boxer. I'm just letting you know that right now. But come on, man. I think it should be talked about more. The towel being thrown in the UFC, because I mean, good Lord have mercy, bro. The Korean Zombie was I'm trying to remember the last time I seen a fighter get dominated like that throughout the entirety of a fight, where he was just absolutely getting his head beat the fuck in all fight and just would never go down and whatnot like that. Oh, it was the dude who fought I think it was Sugar Sean O'Malley who beat the hell out of that dude. Even that to me wasn't as bad as this shit. I mean, good Lord, mind you, Volkanovski is a machine. I think Volkanovski would have been a beast even back in the day where everybody walking around the UFC was a Hall of Famer, basically. That's just my opinion. Ryan Tannehill, yo. Moving to the NFL, yo. I still haven't did, the research on the DeAndre Hopkins thing. I think it was he took a supplement or something like that last year during his injury to help with recovery, and he didn't know it was a banned substance in it or whatever. I'm not speaking on that. But it's a shame that he got popped for that, because, it will be people out there who try to question the entirety of his career now. But it's a shame that's going to happen, but, it is what it is. However, Ryan Tannehill, I'm competing against him. I don't see, what did he say? It's not my job to mentor him when talking about Malik Willis. Now, I know a lot of people going to make this, into a big fuss and whatnot, but that should not be, this shouldn't be turned into something big, because I agree with Ryan Tannehill. For one, how did Brett Favre treat Aaron Rodgers? How did Tom Brady treat Jimmy G? How did Joe Flacco treat Lamar Jackson? No quarterback who feel like they got a lot left in the tank, or who feel like they can still be great in a franchise quarterback, is going to mentor the man who is supposed to be taking their job. Excuse me. That's not going to happen. And the fact that people keep expecting, like I saw somebody tweet like, you don't expect for him to do it, but it sure is a great sign of leadership and being a teammate and blah, blah, blah. What? I think it was Ryan Clark who tweeted it. Go look at Ryan Clark's tweet on it. I don't agree with that at all. Like, that, maybe if this wasn't the fact that this is the dude who was literally drafted to take his job, why in the fuck would he want to mentor the dude who is coming in to take his job? That's the dude who he is competing against for the starting job. Why would he be trying to that makes no sense at all. See, this is my problem with y'all. Motherfuckers say, oh, it's a team. Bro, these motherfuckers ain't gonna be on the field at the same time. This ain't like one of these motherfuckers is a receiver or something. These motherfuckers both play the quarterback position. Both of these motherfuckers is trying to become the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. This ain't no fucking, oh, he should be mentoring him to help him get better. What are you talking about? If Malik Willis become great, then that means Ryan Tannehill won't have a job with this team. At least not as a starter. So why would he be trying to? And then I see people saying, well, Alex Smith mentored Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, and Alex Smith also probably knew. I had to pause because what I was finna say really wasn't gonna make sense in my head. That's an outlier situation, bro. And even if he did mentor him, he probably didn't know he was about to lose his job fucking anyways. And plus, Alex Smith is a weird situation because the motherfucker got hurt and lost his job to Kaepernick, got hurt, lost his job to Mahomes. Plus, Mahomes was drafted to take his job too. So, listen, whoop-de-fucking-do that Alex Smith decided to, I'm not even gonna say a bigger man or be a great person. Whoop-de-fucking-do that he decided to mentor the man. Who gives a fuck? In average everyday life, you ain't mentoring the person that's trying to take your job. And if you do mentor them, it's probably because they started off as a young buck and you either got tired of the job that you have, so you just got careless and don't give a fuck no more, or you didn't think that they was ever going to take your job. But in the real life, no manager is trying to train another manager to take their jobs. Because let's say you work at Wendy's. Don't use that as an excuse, or a job like that as an example, rather. Because it's multiple managers at those type of jobs. We're not talking about something like that. Let's say you a manager, though, for a company where you are the manager. It ain't no other managers. You over all these other managers. You are the top at your position. You're not mentoring somebody to come take that position from you. If you still want that position and feel like you are great in that position and can do great in that position, if that position pay great and all these other types, you're not training somebody to come in and take that position from you, especially when there's no promotion on the table or nothing like that. Like, come on, stop it. Ryan Tannehill's job is not to go out there and mentor Malik Willis. I don't even like it when I hear stories like this where, oh, he should definitely mentor. No, he shouldn't. He should be going out there trying to improve his game so he don't lose his job to Malik Willis. It's on Malik Willis and the Vikings team to get him ready to take that job if that's what they want. Not on Ryan Tannehill. Why in the fuck would he be helping to lose his job, basically? Like, come on, man. Y'all can't be this goofy, man. Come on, man. Come on. Like, it's just nonsense. I love Lamar Jackson. Was not mad when Joe Flacco did not text this man and try to welcome him to Baltimore. What are you talking about? This is a dude who just got drafted to possibly take his job. Like, y'all are pretty insane, man. And I understand y'all big on, oh, I just want the team to be successful. I just want the team to be Yeah, I hear you. I could care less about the team. Because without these players, it is no team. So that is pretty wild to me, and I already know this is going to be a topic on different morning shows tomorrow. Ryan Tannehill says that it's not his job to mentor Malik Willis. Shannon Sharp will probably be one of the few people with the actual right take on this. Pat McAfee will probably have a great take on it, but I can't. You know, bruh, I cannot for the life of me, and I already know Skip going to roast Steph Curry tomorrow. I can't understand for the life of me how somebody like Skip Bayless can get on TV, roast motherfuckers like Steph, LeBron, and it's not critiquing. I don't mind critiquing great players. And I'm not saying great players are beyond being critiqued and, talked about. But the same other, it's just like Acho get on and defend Baker Mayfield and then blast or down Lamar Jackson. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these? I wish that Shannon could do another big show outside of just his podcast on YouTube. I'm talking about a big show, even if it's like a show he start on YouTube where he debate other people. I just want to see him debate people who is intellectually on the same level as him, bro. I'm tired of seeing him give great takes and great points and then it's followed with some goofball take by Skip. They got nothing to do with facts or anything like that, just his goofy ass biased opinions and shit. I'm tired of seeing Shannon give great takes on Baker Mayfield and continue those takes basically being validated and backed up by what's happening right now. And you got Skip bringing up them 11 fucking games it's like a rerun and a repeat every time they talk about Baker at this point. Like, it's And then I can't get over how disrespectful he is to Odell Beckham for no fucking reason. Like, I was saying the other day, and I done said this multiple times on the show, but boy, it really came through yesterday. Because I mean today and yesterday, because I was watching around the NBA, and I spoke on how this really don't have nothing to do with that, so I don't want to hop into that story. But listen, I was watching around the NBA, or whatever the fuck it's called now. I don't really watch these shows on ESPN. I catch the clips on YouTube. But I was watching the dynamic between Malika Andrews and Richard Jefferson, and you know how the dynamic is with Perk at times. And even though I still don't know how I feel about Perk at times. But you know, Shanae Agumake and all those different type of energies, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Even Ramona Shelburne, because I don't want to make it seem like I just don't like old people talking sports and whatnot. I don't like old people talking sports who still have these antiquated, archaic takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, Mad Dog Russo should not be somebody who is still getting TV jobs to talk to the public and about sports and give his opinions, because he got archaic, antiquated opinions. This is a motherfucker who done came out and said on a number of occasions, I'm sure, he is a owner's type of guy over the players. And every take I listen to, yeah, he basically backs that up. He got the craziest, weirdest, archaic, old white man type takes. Like, I don't understand why these type of people continue to be hired and put in these positions, when I feel like I'm watching JJ Redick on First Take, and I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is so great at this sports analyst debate, whatever the fuck this is called that he doing. He's so great at this, right? And I'm like, man, Malika Andrews, such a breath of fresh fucking air. She is so great at this. Mind you, her sister is a sideline reporter also for either the Warriors or the Grizzlies, but I know she's a sideline reporter in this series. Like a breath of fresh fucking air. Shanae Agumake has always been a breath of fresh fucking air, in my opinion. Matt Barnes, when they bring him on, a breath of fresh fucking air, because these is dudes and women who have great takes. They are not archaic ass takes. They come from different perspectives, and yeah, they defend players at times, or a lot of times. But who gives a fuck when you got so many people in the media in sports media for so long, who done defended the fucking teams and organizations? It's like I always say, bro, I hate it when people go at players for doing what's best for them when the organization's been doing what's best for them for the longest. Like, it was even times where players couldn't even do what was best for them. Like, so, to me, I wish that these companies would continue to hire these younger, more vibrant, fresh analysts, bro. Whether it be former players like Richard Jefferson or JJ Redick, or whether it be young journalists like Malika Andrews, or a former player like Shanae Agumake, or even Ramona Shelburne when she is on the show. Don't give old at. Now, I don't really think Ramona is old. Like, she might be older than, some of these other women that's on the show, but I got a feeling she not past 40 something. Like, she got to be in her 40s, and I don't really consider 40 old. Like, but some of these older white dudes with their archaic ass takes, bro, because it really usually be them. I'm just being honest with you. Like, somebody can, racist, he racist. All right. I'm just telling you, like, I don't want to see Mad Dogs Russo on my TV. I don't want to hear his takes. I'm tired of hearing dudes like his takes. I want to hear more Malika Andrews, more Richard Jefferson, more Greg Olson's. Now Greg Olson sometimes do sound a lot like. I tell you one thing, I don't want to hear fucking Tony Romo. I tell you that. They need to let AJ Hawk and Pat McAfee do a game. Deadass, I just look forward to all the big events that happen. That Pat McAfee, like, you know how FanDuel did that little thing over the I can't remember, was it during Super Bowl weekend, I believe. I hope that show keep getting bigger so they can keep doing different type of shows within their show. Not like Hammer Down and Hockey Talk, because I don't watch neither one of them shits, because I don't bet on games, and I will never sit down and watch a fucking hockey game. You have to pay me to do something like that. And to go to one, like, what food do they serve at hockey games? That's a serious fucking question. Because, you know, like at baseball games, they serve hot dogs. And listen, I used to be a burger guy myself, but I am a big hot dog guy. Because, listen, I done been to the Durham Bulls Stadium. I done been to the Dash Stadium, the Winston-Salem Dash Stadium. I used to go to the Warthog Stadium when Dash, before the Dash was the Dash, they was the Warthogs. And so at all three of these baseball games or stadiums, they all have like a hot dog dude who walk around serving hot dogs. Basically, it's just like plain hot dog. He got toppings with him if you want some toppings, but they all wrapped in like a foil, right? I can kill about 10 of them bitches. But a drink with me, some fries, oh man, stop it. Ballpark hot dogs are different. I'm telling you right now. Let alone go to a ballpark that actually cooking them hot dogs on a grill. Like they don't have them in the machine shit. For one, I don't like it when people fry hot dogs. I done been to Hardee's before, like a long time ago. I went to Hardee's when they used to serve hot dogs and they used to throw them bitches in the fryer. I'm like, yo, you could literally cook that shit on the grill. I don't even care that it would take a long time or longer. But like throwing it in the fryer is just straight up just barbaric to me. But like you, obviously they got the hot dog rotisserie like machines that's cooking it on all sides and whatnot at a lot of these stadiums. But go to one where they actually grilling them bitches on a grill in the back. Oh my god. And they'll blacken it up for you, like charred up actually. That's what it's called. They're charring it up for you. Oh my god. I'm telling you, bro, you're not going to find better hot dogs at, like, ballparks. It's just certain places where you're going to find the best version of a food. The best version of a hot dog you will find is at baseball stadiums. Now, I'm not talking about a trash-ass team with trash-ass food and shit like that, which is, I done seen trash teams with phenomenal food. So it's just rare to me that if you go to a baseball stadium and the one food they don't get right is hot dogs. Like, because every fucking baseball game I done ever been to, mind you, I done enjoyed every baseball game I done went to. And I done went to some baseball games where it was a pitcher's duel. But the food done been great every time. The hot dogs specifically done been amazing every fucking time. Now listen, I done been to the if you done ever been to the Charlotte Hornets, this ain't a baseball team. This is just basketball. The Charlotte Hornets, bro, they got so many fucking Bojangles in the fucking arena. They even got a Bojangles across at that bus stop, I believe it is, with a Bojangles and a Burger King, bro, and like a little mini mart. Shit crazy. But yeah, Charlotte the spot. Charlotte tonight got a nice looking area with the basketball stadium. A lot of cops, man. I remember I was driving down there for a pay-per-view. And I can't remember what pay-per-view it was. I know Charlotte lost, and I wasn't happy about that. And my homie, who I was talking about, who hates Steph Curry, he was with me trying to find fucking who was it he was trying to find? Kayla, I believe it was, the whole fucking time, because he had on a makeup shirt where he just had a white shirt where he wrote we used a Sharpie to write Kayla's #1 fan on it or some shit like that. And she ended up tweeting him after the show and all that shit. And I had saw, I guess, Kayla's best friend, he said. Like, she was legit standing right beside me. And I didn't know that was her best friend and nothing like that. Like, I spoke to him and everything, like, yo, what's up? You was such and such and such. And she responded, yeah, what's up? Happy to meet you or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I didn't ask for no autograph or no shit like that. Because if I'm asking for an autograph, and there's no disrespectful to the person who I met, because I'm not going to say who it was, because for one, I can't even remember her name at the moment. And I don't think she with the WWE anymore. However, if I'm asking for an autograph, You know, it's gonna be for Charlotte. Mind you, I walked around to the area that my homeboy, because that's what we was doing. We was going around to the area where you can get autographs from the wrestlers if they come out. I kind of felt like this was gonna be one of them nights where they probably didn't though, because I think this was like a 4, 5, 6 hour show. I think it was like we was there for like 5 hours, and we got there pretty early too, because like we got to see the kickoff show. So you know what I'm saying. But he had that was the dude who hates Steph Curry, bro. That's him. But we went to that thing was in the Charlotte Arena, bro. They had a nice Jack Daniels or Jim Beam bar, I think it was. I can't remember if it was Jim Beam or Jack Daniels. Either way, it was a nice looking setup. Dope ass fucking arena. But they had a lot of Bojangles. Did not see a hot dog spot in there. Maybe I wasn't looking. But you know, the hamburger that I ate there, it was alright. I don't know if maybe they didn't have all the vendors open because it was a WWE, which really don't make sense because they had a whole bunch of vendors open. I'm trying to tell you, if you ever go to one of these WWE events, G, the lines at some of these fucking concessions and stores is outrageous, bro. Outrageous. Like, it was a funnel cake line that my homie wanted to go to. The funnel cake line was like 58 people deep. I'm like, shit. And then some of these lines are so deep that in the stores and like all the vendors and shit is so close to each other that everybody is piled up in like the same area and shit. Now, shout out to all these wrestling fans who was there, because they all was in like a single file, like multiple lines, but it was like everybody was standing behind each other and shit like that. There was no chaos going on, even though it looked like orderly chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, God damn, it's a lot of people in this area. Like, I'm telling you, like 58 deep waiting for a fucking funnel cake. And I'm like, yo, these funnel cakes must really slap if it's 58 deep standing in this line. Now, granted, shout out to the funnel cake people, because they was whipping them bitches up pretty fast. The funnel cake line was flying. And there was these hamburger lines and these, I'm telling you, bro, they had like 5 Bojangles. I'm not being like exaggerating. It was a shit ton of Bojangles at the Charlotte Hornets Arena that was open that night. And every single fucking one of them was packed. The food was amazing. Because I ended up getting Bojangles after I had got a burger. Because I waited in line and got a burger. And I really wasn't feeling the burger that I ended up getting. But the fries was smack. So I ended up getting Bojangles. Son, I don't know what they paying these motherfuckers who work at this restaurant, these Bojangles at the Charlotte Arena, but keep paying them what you paying them. And if you ain't paying them good enough, then up that pay, because them motherfuckers made probably the best Bojangles I done ever eat in my life. And that's a tough statement, because in Durham, it's a Bojangles up the street from the crib that I used to stay at. On Hope Valley. Unbelievable Bojangles. This Bojangles at the Charlotte Arena, so I had the Supreme combo with dirty rice and fries. Son, for one, it's like angels made the fucking dirty rice. Because I'm so used to getting this nasty, mushy, or soupy ass dirty rice from different Bojangles. It's very irritating. Like, it's very much irritating. But, you know, I'm interested to see what Golden State do at home this next game. I know I'm, just hopping around, but I'm very interested to see what the fuck Golden State do at home next game. They gotta avenge this shit. I just got a feeling Golden State gonna make the Grizz pay for this shit talk. But like I said, I'm really not mad at the Grizz for this shit talk. You gotta be who you are. You know what I'm saying? In life, you gotta be who you is. If they don't like them, fuck them. R.I.P. Bernie Mac. The Grizzlies of shit talking motherfuckers. I dig that. And Ja is becoming a fucking star. And I know I made quick mention of how the Celtics beat the Bucks tonight, but I didn't watch that game and I didn't watch the replays, so I can't speak on that game yet, but I will speak on it tomorrow when I'm back on after I check out all those other type of after I check out the highlights and things like that. Was going to talk about James Harden and the Sixers tonight. Changed my mind. Going and hold that one off till tomorrow night. With that, though, I appreciate y'all for joining me, bro. We're still on a mission to try to grow the show and to try to grow the audience and things of that nature. I'm telling you, the grind is beautiful. I don't mind it. I cannot wait till I'm looking back on this one day. And I'm like, this is what this was for. That's what those, those 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 1 views was for. Because we here now. We'll remember this. You know what I'm saying? Because when we blow up, I'm telling you, the shit's going to be way different. And I'm not going to delete these because these got to be here to be the message. That if you want it and you're willing to put in the work, you're not going to get it all at once. You might not get it this year, next year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just keep going. Keep going. If you ain't dead, then keep going. You're going to get there. I think that's what stopped. Because you know what I saw today? It's a lot of people out there who rich and not famous. You know a lot of the people that's famous and rich. You don't hear about the stories of the people that's out there rich and not famous. I move people out of houses a lot. That's one of the jobs I do. So I've moved a lot of rich people who you would not know. I met a woman named Shelly. Easily one of the richest families and people I know and have ever been. I'm pretty sure if you knew them, you'd be like, yeah, this is probably the richest family I know. Motherfuckers lived in a neighborhood full of like estates. And they had one of the biggest ones. Shit. I remember when I moved this family out of their mansion up the street into a new mansion. Shit was wild, yo. There was like, and it was literally like up the street in the same neighborhood and everything. Like pull out of this one, 2 seconds up, turn right, boom, right there. You could literally stand on the lawn and see the houses, the mansions from each other's thing. That's how this shit was built, right? 3-story man. Shelly's fucking estate had an attic, right? Now I know some people hear attics and they like, oh, you gotta bend down when you in these attics and shit. Like, no, their attic was a fully furnished, decked out attic with rooms and you can walk normally. You do not have to bend down or anything like. This shit was insane. The backyard was an absolute fucking marvel. Like, shit was crazy. I told y'all about that washroom I saw a picture of the other day, bro. We working for shit like that. And I told my mans today, because my cousin, he do this job now. And I don't like this job that he got to do, bro. And it's an insane job to me. Very insane job to me. But that's why I got to keep grinding and doing what I'm doing so that one day all the people who I fuck with and I love can be all in one area making money. And we don't got to do those stupid ass type jobs. You know what I'm saying? I understand grind till you don't have to do that no more. But boy, I can't wait till we actually don't have to do that no more. And I don't have to watch him do stupid ass jobs like that. And it's not stupid as like, oh, it's illegal, nothing like that. It's just a job that I think is beneath him. In a sense that not beneath him as in, oh, he better than that job. In the sense that this job is not a job that anybody, I think anybody who would be doing, well, it's certain people, because this job is for people who is lazy, dirty, don't clean. Because the man came into the job and immediately have it to start clean. Especially when you got a job where you know the people who work there have to live there and you still keep it dirty and disgusting with roaches and all type of mold and shit like that. And the first thing your new employees have to do when they get there is clean up. And that's not even what they paid to do. They just got to do it because the living area that they would think is going to look nice for them. Like imagine you going off to college or you send your child off to college. And the dorm you walk into is disgusting. Wasn't cleaned up from the lab. And they say, oh no, you got to clean that up yourself. What? Motherfucker, it's cum stains on the fucking mattress, bro. The sheets is wet. The fucking couches smell like piss. Like, what are you talking about? We gotta clean this up. It's a wild life, man. But yo, I fuck with y'all. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Give my Dukes the biggest of hugs and kisses for me. and dap up Pops and tell him to keep doing what he doing. Saint out.
Hey, right out. Got my niggas in the bag blowing white out. We gon' pump this shit real deep into the night out. Keep it 199, just ain't my style. Sing the time, staring out the window of the night route. They never ever understood for the most part. Hey, wonder how them niggas treated Mozart. Hey, did they try to put him on the Zoloft? Oh nah, I was penalized for being too alive. 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 I was